Hi, this is Dr. Whiting, and welcome to the first of a hopefully very long series of monthly videos entitled Media Watch, Your Health. Each month, we are going to put together a brief video on some of the news items appearing on television, newspapers, and magazines where we just couldn't believe it. Things that so-called healthcare professionals are saying and recommending on television and in print that just are too unbelievably incorrect for us to deal with. And we're going to put one of these out every month or so. So if you are interested in finding out more about this information and getting a monthly update of things that go on or have gone on in the news regarding health and medicine and drugs and so forth, just subscribe to this video and it will automatically be sent to you every month. This month I want to start out with a couple of things that have occurred so far in January. If you watch the news at night and you hear these various reports and these so-called medical breakthroughs and so on in these news programs, take out a moment to watch who sponsors them. You will very often see very prime-time, very expensive ads for various medications. Drug companies are spending an increasingly higher and higher amount of money to sponsor primetime television shows. This is not only the entertainment shows, but also news programs, nightly news, talk shows, and a variety of other things where this information seems to be popping up. I don't think it's a coincidence. Most doctors, well-meaning as they are, oftentimes end up treating the symptoms of a disease rather than the cause of the problem. Let's take a classic example, and that would be arthritis. Common osteoinflammatory arthritis affects millions and tens of millions of people, and new cases, of course, are popping up daily because as we get older, the body begins to develop these chronic diseases. Well, for the most part, medicine does nothing to prevent the progression of arthritis. In fact, many doctors are of the opinion you cannot slow or even reverse the arthritic process. This is not true. We've been successfully slowing, altering, and even reversing the damages from osteoarthritis for a long, long time. But you don't hear that on the 6 o'clock news. When a doctor treats arthritis, he gives you pain pills for the pain, he gives you anti-inflammatories for the swelling, but he doesn't really do anything to rebuild the integrity of the joint, connective tissue, cartilage, and so on. Complementary medicine or nutritional medicine looks at how to give the body the raw materials it has been lacking, sometimes for decades, that have caused the disease, and subsequently allows the body to begin to heal itself. Let's talk a moment about thyroid, specifically underactive thyroid. Underactive thyroid is becoming more and more common with each passing year. It affects all types of people. It affects men and women, although women more predominantly than men. It affects all races and all age groups. And yet underactive thyroid is oftentimes misdiagnosed by thousands of physicians. In fact, on a recent program, Oprah said that it took her 4 or 5 physicians and 4 or 5 physicals and constant, relentless insistence before her thyroid condition was discovered. Now, if it can happen to somebody for whom money is no object, in other words, she can go anywhere she wants, she can have as many physicians as she wants, she can order any medical test she wants, and still, months or years went by, and she was treated for all sorts of other problems, heart palpitations and fatigue and insomnia, all to come to find out that it was her thyroid. Well, if it can happen to her, it can happen to you. And it does happen to people every single day. Another big deal in the news on a lot of the medical shows is a discussion of something called C-reactive protein. C-reactive protein is measured in the blood, and it is primarily a sign of the degree of inflammation going on within your body. The higher the levels of the C-reactive protein, the more inclined you can be for a variety of chronic diseases, including heart disease. Well, what they're really measuring is the amount of what we call silent inflammation within the human body. Silent inflammation can run rampant and go totally unnoticed, which is why they call it silent inflammation, because it's below the pain threshold. You can't feel it yet. But it's predominant in heart disease, diabetes, and many other conditions that you wouldn't think inflammation would be associated with. Well, we can lower C-reactive protein by lowering silent inflammation in the body. And we do that naturally with a variety of combination of natural substances. We've developed a formula right here at the Institute of Nutritional Science that we've used now for almost 3 years, extremely successfully in controlling and managing all types of bodily inflammations, from silent to chronic to even acute. It has no side effects, cannot cause stomach bleeding, cannot cause upset stomachs, because it totally works in a different way. It's 100% safe because it's all natural. The formula is called Inflameze, I-N-F-L-A-M-E-Z-E. And Inflameze is available to you if you have an inflammatory issue. In order to find out more information about this unique formula, simply go to www.phoenixnutritionals.com. There you can read all about the same formula that we use here at our research centers. The next thing I want to talk about is antacids. You see, for years I have been saying that antacids were the most dangerous over-the-counter, non-prescription medication that you could buy. And of course, the manufacturers of both the over-the-counter and prescription antacids have been totally denying that, saying, oh, there's no evidence, there's no evidence. And now there is a couple of major studies that have just hit the press recently, indicating that antacids definitely increase bone loss and hip fractures, especially in people over the age of 50. I'm telling you that you don't need all of those antacids. You don't need all of those anti-bone loss drugs. If you've got digestive problems, chances are it's due to an imbalance of stomach acids. You can naturally take care of that by using a formula that provides both enzymes and natural stomach acid. Doing so will oftentimes totally eliminate all your heartburn and bloating and gas safely and naturally. Once you've got that under control, you can prevent bone loss and even reverse it. Do you know there are 7 clinical studies now that show? They're from around the world, different universities, totally unrelated. And there are at least 7 that I know of that have been able to prove that with the right combination of calcium and trace minerals, you can actually increase bone density without the use of potentially dangerous drugs. What you need in your calcium supplement is boron, vitamin D, magnesium, manganese, copper, zinc, and strontium. So if your calcium formula doesn't contain all of those trace minerals and nutrients, you're not getting maximum absorption. Lastly, I want to quickly touch on antibacterial soaps. This is another pet peeve that I've been screaming about for a long, long time. Antibacterial this, antibiotic that, anti-this, anti-that. We're trying to sterilize the world around us. And the result is that we are sicker and sicker and sicker because of it. When our ancestors, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, they didn't have all of these things. When you fell down and cut your knee, you washed it off with a garden hose, and it got all red, and it might got a little puffy, but you know what? It healed. And in the process, it strengthened your immune system. Today, our immune system is constantly being told to mind its own business. I'll take care of this with an antibacterial squirt on my hands. And you see these people, they carry it in their pocket, their purse, everywhere they go, they're squirting this stuff on as if they've been contaminated with some horribly contagious disease. This is absolute nonsense. The human body was designed with its unique immune system to live in the world around us. If you take care of your immune system, it will take care of you.